Hi friends, Janelli here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a vlog and I'm here at Betty's Co mobile truck. Super cool with gynecology, wellness, and general health for women's care. So I'm here for my first in-person visit. This is a super cool, very interesting concept, and right now it's parked at La Cantera. The shop's at La Cantera in front of Barnes & Noble. So let's check it out. Truck at Betty's Co. Super excited. We're at the Shops at La Cantera and we have someone super special from Betty's Co. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what we do here.
Yes, hi everyone. Hi. I'm Jennifer Newell. I'm the founder of Betty's. So I had the concept for Betty's back in 2017 actually. And it has been a bit of a whirlwind to get this up and running and kind of see it come to fruition. So it's a really exciting time for us.
What inspired you to do something like this?
You know, there's a multidimensional answer to that question. But two elements were really important. They're really factored into that. The first is that I was a young woman in need of women's health care. So by the time I was 17, I hadn't yet started my period. And for those who don't know, the average age for a woman to start her period is 12. So 17 is way late. But I went to my pediatrician at 15. They said wait until you're 16 and we'll send you to a gynecologist and you can have that looked at. Like any other 16-year-old, I waited an extra year. And at 17, I went to the gynecologist for the first time and I was diagnosed with a condition called premature ovarian failure, which is where my ovaries just stopped working. And the result of that is infertility. So that happened at a really young age. The diagnosis itself wasn't super shocking to me at the time. I kind of had anticipated something like that. And that wasn't the hardest thing to grasp. It was really what happened next, which was getting into a healthcare system that was not really designed for younger women, and having to figure out my body, advocate for myself as a patient, find a provider that was going to be able to provide the type of care that I needed. And that process took probably 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Just to figure things out and get on a regimen that I felt good on. And now, I know that the treatment for what I do is not very complicated, or for my condition is not very complicated. It just really was the healthcare system. And so now we, after that I stumbled into a career in healthcare, and I got to see from the inside why we had so much struggles, why I had so many struggles as a patient at that time.
Right.
And so the time was, I think, really important and really necessary so that I could figure out, again, how to advocate for myself, but I want other women to be able to do that too.
Absolutely.
So it was really that experience mixed with my healthcare experience that led to what is now Betty's, which is a place that's really focused on, I'll say younger women, or any person that has a female reproductive system, but it's not really about age, it's about lifestyle and place in life. So it's really for people who have started their period or are getting ready to start their period up until the time they are ready to become pregnant and want fertility care, you need obstetrical care, right? That's a different marker in a person's life. The second marker in women's health care after pregnancy is going to be menopause. Right. So then we also, let's say we have a patient, we call them our Betties. We have a patient who is not interested in becoming pregnant and wants to stick with us. Then once that person is kind of reaching perimenopause, we'll help that person find another provider that's really going to specialize in that stage of life.
Wow, that's amazing. And what challenges have you faced, with setting up a mobile clinic and even virtual? Because I know virtual is the way of the world right now, but it does come with a set of challenges. Yeah,
it does. Both are really unique challenges, and we weren't necessarily anticipating having this model until mid-2020. So COVID hit. We planned on having a space that's kind of a boutique space in a retail environment like La Cantera. And eventually we'd like to have that, but with COVID, all I was thinking was, how do we get Betty's out? How do we get this to the market faster, simpler? Simple is, maybe less expensive in the simple way. And kind of from that birthed the idea of, a mobile unit and virtual care. Two things we already wanted to have, but those were going to be later down the road. So we kind of emphasized that aspect of our care settings. And it is challenging because, I think when people think gynecology, they don't think virtual. We actually surveyed the market, and we had 10% say that they were interested in virtual, but this was pre-COVID.
Of course.
Right. And so with virtual, it's just not known that you can do probably, I would argue, maybe about 70% of our visits could be done virtually.
Right.
The annual, for those who need a physical exam, who are over the age of 21, or as the provider determines, need to have a breast exam, a pelvic exam, and a PAP.
Right.
Those are the 3 physical components of the exam that need to happen each year, about each year. The PAP is every 3 years for those who are over 21. But with that, we do a lot of follow-up visits. We do a lot of consultations around like contraception or sex education, period education. Those types of things can be done virtually. Typical infections that maybe you don't need to be seen physically, those can be done virtually. So we're doing a lot of education engagement around, you don't have to come into the office necessarily.
Yes.
And then mobile is so fun.
Yeah, this is such a cool truck.
Thank you.
I did the tour, and it's very cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, the great thing about it is it's really eye-catching.
Yes.
So anybody that sees it, that drives by or walks by, they are like, oh my gosh, what is that? So they stop in and they can kind of get a feel for what we're doing. It allows us to go to where our Betties kind of aggregate, which is great. We can go to the neighborhoods where they, live and work and shop and play. But, it does have its challenges, right? Like we have to figure out, okay, well, how do we find partners, on-site partners, who are going to let us park there? How do we refill all of the things that we need, right? We have a fully functioning restroom. So how do we make sure we have all of the water that's needed? How do we make sure we have all of the waste removal? Just things that when you're running a mobile business, you don't have to think about necessarily when you have a brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
So we're still figuring some of that out, those logistics, but it's interesting.
I'm sure, and it's such a cool mobile. I'll give you guys a tour as well. But I guess my last question is, where can we find you? How do we keep up? And any information that we need to know about the services in general?
Yeah, so I would say Instagram is probably a great place to start. We do a lot of education and just awareness stuff, so please check us out. Our content is really fun, and we know that everything that we put out is going to be clinically approved. So if you want a trusted source for your women's health needs and just understanding your body and how it works, please check us out on Instagram. But then also our handle is just @Betty'sCo. And then our website is just bettysco.com. And kind of the same thing, we put a lot of content out on our website. You can find all of the information about our services, including the types of insurance that we accept, what our prices are. So we do take cash pay. And so our prices, we're trying to keep them really reasonable. For a standard visit, it's $99. And for a follow-up visit, it is $49.
Okay. That's super affordable.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We're really working to do that. So the best way to keep it affordable is to have more patients.
Yes.
So if you're really passionate about women's health care and you want to get involved, we get that question a lot. How do I get involved? We're not a not-for-profit organization. We are just kind of a traditional physician practice is kind of our business model, if you will. So for someone to want to get involved, really the best thing is to become a patient, come check us out, shop our awkward shop. We have fun products in our little pop-up boutique. And then that's the way that we can keep our prices down and we can just grow and spread awareness for women's health.
Wonderful. Well, it's so nice to meet you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to show you guys a little tour and where you can get some of that fun, cute merch. Thank you guys. And let's keep up the awareness and education for women's health in general, including also mental health and other general nutrition health as well. So definitely check out Betty's Co, one of my favorite new things.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.